How firm a foundation, you saints of the Lord, is laid for your faith in his excellent word.
What I appreciate about Emmaus is how they stress, first and foremost, the vertical relationship with God, and then also making it important the horizontal relationships with other people in the congregation. And there are a lot of ways to stay connected and encourage one another.
He is with us, so be not dismayed, for he is our God, our sustainer and strength. He'll be our defender.
The other thing I've really come to love over my time here at Emmaus is just their emphasis on missions. As an understated, subtle emphasis. I feel like sometimes churches wave their flags of we do all this and we do all this, and Emmaus does so much, and I didn't realize that until I was here for a few years, and I was like, this is amazing. The local community, the global community is so affected by our church through prayers and missions and financial support, and it just, that's what it's about. So I love that about Emmaus.
Coming to Emmaus, when I first came here, just the way that I've seen people willing to volunteer their time for the kids programming.
It's also a place to be sent out from, and so it equips and empowers and sends out into the world in all sorts of ways. And I just think just that all of that sense of home being in the context of just really worshipful and God-centered worship and teaching and community has been just a blessing in my life.
How firm our foundation, how sure our salvation, and we will not be shaken.
Hello and welcome to this. We are very excited about the work that we've been doing for the last 2 years as we've been working and planning and thinking about how would God lead us to the future? What would his desire for us be as a church as we go into the future? And there's 5 specific areas that we want to focus on. The first one is we want all generations to be a part of this community of believers that we have. That includes reaching out to those generations that are just now coming up and have been separated from the church for a variety of reasons. So that's the first one, is the new generation. The second one is the developing leaders. And if we're going to reach out to another generation, that means we also need to be mindful of raising up leaders as well as continuing to develop leaders within our congregation. The third one is welcoming visitors. Of course, we want to be a church that is welcoming visitors. That's just who we are, but in a very specific and tangible way. The fourth one is home groups. Home groups are the place that we as a church can nurture and develop as disciples. We can encourage one another, pray for each other, and become a part of that sense of family that is an essential part of being in the church. And the fifth area is using all of our talents for God's glory. We know that each person has a variety of gifts, but if we hold those in and don't share them, then the body of Christ doesn't benefit from the individual unique talents that each person has.
Never to shake, he'll never, no never, no never forsake. Oh, he'll never, no never, no never forsake.
Have always loved the kids programs and like the Christmas and the drama and all the things that we get to see. So I'm excited for our little wiggle worm to get a chance to go through King's Kids and do VBS, and yeah, good job.
We've adapted in these times with streaming, be the way of the future, reaching people and having them worship with us.
We're best led by God when we have our hands open. But I do see outreach as always, I think, a prime focus of ours. I'm excited about that. It's something that I myself care about. I want to be involved in the lives of others.
Not really knowing what the future holds for Emmaus, but looking at the past and seeing how faithful God has been to our congregation, there's just no doubt in my mind that something exciting is ahead and like always around the corner. And I think one thing I've seen throughout my life here is that there's been a ton of transitions in so many ways, whether it be staff or just people growing older and moving on and new families coming, or even just personally in my own life, new seasons of life that I've experienced. And I've just seen the faithfulness of God to the people in this congregation as well as the church as a whole. And I think when you can see that and reflect upon that, it gives you just a lot of joy and excitement for the future, as well as just seeing the next generation come up and learning to be leaders and learning to be involved in the church life. That has been exciting, and I think there's good things ahead.
Praise Jesus.